Live from New York. It's a show that just is dealing with the data that's in front of us.
No, you're not.
That's it.
It's self-selected. When the data in front of you says Lakers defense is awesome, you're like, you know what? I don't believe it. When the data in front of you says
that's not that
when the data in front of you says the Warriors will never lose with this starting lineup, you're like, I'm all in, and you guys aren't high enough.
Well, they ran into the Rockets. I told you that.
You dropped the Rockets.
They were on the second night of a back-to-back.
Then why did you drop them?
I dropped Denver.
No, you dropped Denver.
I do not like Denver.
And then you dropped the Rockets. Now you're trying to pick the Rockets
I'm beloved
back up.
in Houston.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
In Houston?
Yes.
No.
I went to T-Mac's birthday party there. Like, you come on.
I believe.
Yeah, I'm not even on TV yet. How do you know that? We start with the Lakers crushing the Thunder. 126-99. Lakers had 78 at the half, which is the most points the Thunder defense allowed all year at the break. Luka had 22 at the half, ended with 30. What did LA prove yesterday?
Well, pick which way you want to slice it, because some could be like, hit 15 threes in the first half, one of those games. Here's the problem with that level of analysis. One is they had 36 open or wide open threes, some of which generated with Luka Doncic facing the basket, just tossing it perfectly over the back of his head to a wide-open three-point shooter. This was a great reminder of what having Luka on your team creates offensively. And by the way, you'd be like, oh, man, Luka, we finally saw playoff Luka. No, we didn't. 37-6 is a bad playoff game for Luka Doncic. That is down across the board in all of his playoff averages. So even if you want to say the offense was outlier shooting, which to an extent, sure.
It was a season high.
Right, but it was also, they were open shots and they were generated shots by Luka, a lot of them. What about the defense? What about holding OKC to 99 and holding OKC to 67 in the final three quarters? It was 44-32 after one. OKC didn't crack 100. And so, to me, this was why people such as Brew and myself can feel like this team's going to win the West. Because they are doing this with, I'm going to add one other thing, Brew. I think LeBron is still pacing himself.
Yeah,
you saw in the Warriors game, he tried to, and then Luka didn't have it. He's like, all right, I've got to go. And an interesting thing that I mentioned a while before the show, since coming back from injury, LeBron has not been rebounding. He had a 0-rebound game, a 3-rebound game, a number of 5-rebound games. And to me, that's about him not wanting to get in the mix of potentially getting rolled up on or knocked down and be like, let me please, for the first time in a few years, get to the playoffs fully healthy. And so I think they are still one of the three teams most likely to win a championship, and they cemented it over this past week when some people thought they were about to lose 5 out of 6. Instead, they've won 4 out of 5 and are this close to clinching the 3 seed.
That was a fantastic performance. And even though I thought they had a good chance to win, I didn't expect that. I mean, they blew their doors off. And there was every reason for OKC to win that game. One, OKC was coming off a loss to Houston, impressive game by the Rockets. So they hadn't lost 2 straight since, I think, November.
Right.
And they didn't want to lose. You're up for the game because you're coming off a loss and want to get some get back. Not to mention LeBron and Luka are in the house. So you're automatically up for it because of that. And then OKC has the best home record in the league. All right. The Lakers are one of 2 teams in the top 8 in the West with a losing record on the road. So LA is not supposed to go into Oklahoma City and win, let alone rout them. So Nick hit it. Yeah, they're not going to hit 22 threes. There is some of that they were on fire. You got to credit them against a great defense for getting all those open looks. And like you said, that's what Luka and LeBron and even Austin Reeves can do because they all can play well with the ball in their hands and create for teammates. But the defense, here's the thing. They proved that when they have to, when it's time to step up, they can be a good defensive team. Give some credit to J.J. Redick for drawing up the schemes, getting the players to give 110% effort, including Luka. Because here's the thing. They held OKC to 43% shooting. When they beat Denver in late February, held them to 40% shooting. Those are 2 top 5 offenses in the league. Houston, they held to 41% when they just beat them. And so they can play defense when they need to. Here's the other thing, Nick, and I don't know that this is the case with Golden State. Size doesn't hurt the Lakers.
Because
opponent
Thunder
size.
that two
Thunder
lineup from the Thunder have been to the Chet and Hartenstein lineups.
Now, they don't rebound well, but they still have a tall team. But not only them. Denver's a big team, obviously, with Jokic. Memphis is a big team. Mm-hmm. And the Lakers have beaten all of them. So, or Golden State, at least in that one game last week, showed that they could play better than them in small ball, at least in that game. So maybe that's something. But size, like we talked about the Lakers' lack of bigs, the league isn't big anymore, and the few big teams that there are have not bothered the Lakers. And then lastly, Luka. I mean, look, I love him with the ball in his hands. And obviously LeBron and Reeves are going to have it at times. But of his 11 baskets he made, only 2 of them were catch and shoot. When he's moving off the dribble, when he gets his rhythm, a lot of times at the top of the key, that's where I like him having it, then he can do damage, and that's what he did.
First half yesterday, Lakers had 78 points. They shot 68% from
that's incredible.
3. You think this is an outlier game? You're not, because last time when they shot poorly, you're like, they shot poorly. I meant Warriors were on fire. What are you going to do? Lakers are on fire. You're like,
No, so if they had won this game the way the Warriors beat them, it feels different. If this is a 5-point game with 40 seconds left and the Thunder have the ball, and then I'm like, oh, man, the Lakers had their best shooting night of the year and, you barely won, that feels different. That's what the Warriors game, I felt like you had Pajimski and Draymond go 10 of 14 from 3. Luka and DFS go, I think, 0 of 11 or 1 of 11 from 3. And despite that, it's still, in the margins at the end. That's not what this was. And this was a game that it takes 7 threes away from the Lakers. And it's just a season average game. They're still in control throughout. There's 2 other quick points I want to make before we get to the Thunder side of it. This was another reminder that the Thunder are the team of every team in basketball, but certainly in the West, deepest defensively. And even for the Thunder, when you get to your 3rd best wing defender, he's going to have some issues. And Austin Reeves is going to be able to absolutely feast on bad defenders in these playoffs, because your best defender and 2nd best defender on the wing are going to have to be Luka and LeBron-centric. So what is the team other than OKC that has 3 credible wing defenders that you can have out all at the same time? So that, to me, was a really interesting note. And the other one is this, Brew. The Thunder going into the weekend were a team that, had they won out, would have been a 70-win team. What do we make of the Thunder and the Lakers being identical this year against the Western Conference? Give it a game. If we show it to you, this is a stunning graphic where the Thunder are going to win 68 games. The Lakers are right now at 48. 48 wins right now for the Lakers. If the Lakers were to beat them on Tuesday, which I don't think they will, they would have the same record against the Western Conference. And so I know, Wilds, you think we have been far too bullish on the Lakers. That right there, that graphic right there, and LeBron kind of alluded to it, like we've done well against the West, not as well against bad teams, I think speaks to how dangerous in the Western Conference playoffs the Lakers are.
I also think if I'm the Lakers, now I know they need wins, but I probably sit LeBron and Luka tomorrow night.
So that you agree with me on that?
I don't want to give them. I'm in their. I think they're in Oklahoma City's head. They gotta be in their head.
Yep, that makes sense.
And if they beat the Lakers reserves, so what? That doesn't get us out of your head.
So real on that note, because I said that Friday. I said if they win Sunday, then you can sit guys Tuesday. Because they won and because the Nuggets and Warriors lost, we'll get to them in a minute, the Lakers are in a very, very clean situation. If they get 2 wins in their final 4 games, they are the 3 seed, no matter what. Nobody can jump them. So if I'm the Lakers and Dallas played Friday and does not play again, or played Saturday and does not play again until the Laker game Wednesday. If I am the Lakers, I am sitting everyone Tuesday night. It is everybody, Austin, LeBron, Luka, punting that game so A, OKC doesn't get the confidence boost of beating you, and B, knowing we have to beat Dallas and then one of either Houston or the Blazers in game 82, and we lock up the 2 seed, or the 3 seed.
I think I'd play Austin.
Okay, let him try to cook, that's fine, but the point, what you don't want is go all out to beat OKC, lose. You're tired then against a super rested Dallas team that's going to be emotionally as charged as possible, lose that, and then be facing back-to-back must-wins to end the year.
Good.
I don't think that Dallas game is going to be that tough. Because it's going Luka, they're going to be, the fans are going to be drooling over Luka. He's going to go crazy.
But it's a weird game and when the Mavs have had 4 days off and you've played, it will be your 3rd game since they've played 1 and on a back-to-back. That could be tough.
Who was the game we just saw? Sorry to do like a thought exercise. It was like a
Jimmy Butler back in Miami.
Exactly. Yes.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
We're not gonna let you, turn this building on fire.
The fans booed him.
Meanwhile, the Thunder followed up a Friday loss to the Rockets, Sunday loss to the Lake Show. SGA walked into the narrative of a playoff whistle as he made 1 free throw over those 2 games. Was OKC's performance more fluke or flaw?
It was flaw. And I've been saying it all year. Now, maybe I'll be proven wrong. I doubt it, but they got 2 flaws to me as far as winning this championship this year. One, their youth. And and it's not just youth, it's lack of experience. They have 1 postseason run together. 1.
And it's a short run.
It's short. They won 1 playoff series.
Right.
I don't know how far you'd have to go back to see a team that won 1 playoff series together before their championship year.
Well, the 08 Celtics are weird because they had won 0.
Yeah, and
that was
I don't even count it because it's totally different.
Yep.
So that is an issue. You can go through the history of the league, and the last team championship teams either have veterans, they're a bunch of veterans, or they've been through playoff hell together. They've Jordan, LeBron, guys, you mentioned that Celtics team. Ray Allen, Paul Pierce, Garnett had all had plenty of playoff losses. All right, years where they thought they could win it and they didn't. This team has none of that. To find a championship team like this one, which would be the youngest team ever to win the championship, you literally have to go back to the youngest team ever to win the championship, which was 1977, the Portland Trail Blazers, Bill Walton. And so that is not the history of the NBA. This team would be defying history in a huge way if they won the championship. Secondly, Nick, they got 1 star. They got 1. Now, no disrespect to Jalen Williams. I think Chet will definitely become a big star, and Jalen may be a star. Right. Jalen Williams yesterday, 1 game, but 4 for 14, 16 points. Chet Holmgren, 4 for 10, 10 points. You know, who is that? You really telling me 1 star who, as great as he is a 6'5", 6'6" guard, is going to outdo LeBron James and Luka Doncic together? That's a big ask. And so I think it's a flaw. Maybe next year I think they will be championship ready. I'd be shocked if they won the championship.
So I wouldn't be shocked. I still think the Celtics and the Lakers are in a tier here, and the Celtics might be in the top of that tier, but in a tier here, then there's a big gap. Then I would kind of have the Warriors by themselves, and then another big gap, and then like Cavs and the Nuggets out of just respect for Joker, but I think the Nuggets might be totally cooked. More on them in a bit. I think the one comp, it wouldn't be age, but as far as win 1 playoff series together, would that be the 2015 Warriors? Like they had
played a few.
They had multiple years in the playoffs, so they'd never been to a conference finals. Right. But regardless, it certainly would, if not unprecedented, close to it. I'm going to add 2 other concerns I have for them. You alluded to one of them. That Rockets game and that Lakers game, and you saw it this week, and it's something I know the NBA and the refs swear this doesn't exist. Van Gundy used to make fun of them for it. Playoff whistle, that's a lie. That's a myth. No, it's not.
Yeah.
Watch games my whole life. No, it's not. And Shea, the history of guys who really, really benefit from being cagey and crafty with the officials and with getting calls, falling off a bit in the playoffs is quite long. Most recently, it's Embiid and Harden. Previously, people used to ascribe it to Chris Paul. I didn't think that was really fair because I thought Chris Paul was awesome in the playoffs. His teams just didn't, they were usually the underdog, but he had some bad ones. But you got a little preview, and even in this game, like one of those, JJ challenged the one where he stuck his leg out.
Like all their challenges.
Yeah, early. Well, there was one when LeBron got fouled by 3 people, and the ref was like offensive foul, and that was, and the other one is this, and this is why I have been more dismissive, not entirely dismissive, but more dismissive than Wildes about the margin of victory stuff, the point differential. My working theory on Oklahoma City, as far as if I don't actually believe, even though I think they can win the title, if I don't actually believe they are a historically great team, how do I account for their historically great season? And my answer is, man, they have such amazing depth, and they have such a great roster, 1 through 11 or 12, that when they are playing these, basically every team in the league other than the very best teams, when it's bench unit versus bench unit, you're just going to get boat raced. Because OKC's bench unit could be a bad team's starters. And to me, this data backs that up, which is OKC against, in my opinion, the toughest teams in the West. We can show it. They're 500. Against the rest of the NBA, they are 55-5.
That's big.
Now they are 4-0 against the Clippers, and they are 4-0 against Memphis. But Memphis, I think, is drawing dead essentially.
And the Clippers are a different team now.
Right.
Kawhi's back.
So that to me is, it's not like they can't hang, but to be 500 against one group and win 11 out of 12 against the rest of the league is noteworthy. And here's the other reason, Wildes, that to me, that advantage will be muted. In the playoffs, it's who are your best 7, maybe 8. And so, the fact that your 8, 9, 10, 11 are so much better than everyone else's doesn't matter that much come the playoffs. So I think that is another reason to just put some brakes on them being the overwhelming favorite.
I think Golden State might be the Lakers' biggest challenger in the West.
Why by that? Let me read you this thing from Hollinger. Thunder were beaten by 14 or more points just twice in their first 77 games. One was an NBA Cup game, didn't count. Then it happened twice in 48 hours. Is there an element of, we're the 1 seed, we did our job, we're going to be here. I know these teams are dying to beat us to prove something, but we're not. The Lakers want to beat us more than we want to beat the Lakers.
I don't know that I buy that.
I don't think so.
Okay. It's just the margin of victory that they were
a veteran team, I would give them that. But a young
not
team,
strategically, but just I feel like that data shows you that they weren't up for these games.
So here's why I disagree with it. They weren't resting anyone.
I know.
Right.
And they went into the Houston game knowing 70 was certainly on the table.
70 was interesting to us. I don't know if it was interesting to them.
I don't know. It would to me be, I don't view the Thunder as a team that would be able to be like, oh, okay, we just lost and got beat badly. We are now playing the Los Angeles Lakers, LeBron and Luka in our building for the first time all year. We are not up for the game.
Yeah,
that's not how I felt at all.
I don't think that's their culture either, honestly. I just don't see them.
No, they probably had a whole group interview planned ready for NBA TV and they weren't able to give it. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get more from the show and to check out clips from other shows on FS1.